So you're thinking, I've got an audit exam coming up. I'm not an auditor. I've not worked in audit. I've never done an audit. I don't even work in a practice maybe. You're thinking, how am I even going to pass this exam? Well, what you have to know is people pass lots of exams without having worked in every area. Okay, it's unlikely, even in a general practice, you would have worked in every area. You're not a tax expert, you're not an audit expert, you're maybe a bit of financial reporting expert, you maybe never worked in corporate finance, but you passed FM. So all of those things come together to remind you, actually, you know what, I passed another exam and I wasn't a professional in that area. What it requires in this audit exam, or any audit exam, is that you take a good writing approach. You're specific, you use the scenario, and you explain yourself. Okay, and if you can do that and use all that information you've been given, then you will pass the exam. There's a couple of things to start off really nicely that non-auditors love. So a question on internal controls, okay, where you're talking about the locks on the door, the passwords on the computer, that stuff everyone deals with. That is the stuff that people love who are not auditors, because they can think and see it or have experienced it if they're in a finance team. So they love that question. Right? They don't always love the testing, the control bit of it. They lack the explanation, but they can think logically and they get through that bit as well. Risk questions, some of them we love as well, because either, let's say at AAA, for the ACCA, you're doing an exam where you do a business risk question, which is the company's got foreign currency bank accounts, they fluctuate in value, that you might be dealing with that at work. Whereas there's other questions on risks focused on financial reporting, and generally people who sign up to accounting love financial reporting. So those risk questions where you're saying how they dealt with the treatment incorrectly, a provision that's not included, or maybe depreciation's useful life, actually the estimate seems a bit off. That stuff people love because they do it at work. Okay. The bits that are a bit more tricky, most significantly, is the audit tests. That is so all over the place, okay? That's the bit where structurally you really need to focus on, listen to some advice, and take what you think. So take that, I should check that thing is real, which is where your head might think, oh, that building, does it exist? Okay, and then translate that into an audit test. And that's the bit you're gonna need most help with. When you get to AA, some of the bits are, again, can be a bit more practical, but AAA for ACCA in particular, really practical questions. Corporate reporting or technical case study, the new one for ICAEW, that has some very practical audit stuff in it. Like, here is the test I have done. Why are they insufficient? Why are they not enough? Why are they inappropriate? That, again, requires bit of knowledge, but a writing style to explain why something, because you already know it's wrong. So it's those practical components, okay, why sample sizes change, all those bits, they're more tricky. But remember, again, thousands of people have passed audit who are non-auditors, and thousands of people will continue to do that. It's about writing approach, it's about using the bits you're really good at, the controls, the risk questions, and properly explaining yourself. And that will get you through any audit exam.